Good morning. Welcome to subramani.com. Please click on the bell icon and please subscribe. Nice to see more numbers on the subscription there. Today I'm going to talk to you about the kind of blunders which we saw people commit over the years. So long ago, there used to be a report called the Oasis report, and when we saw the report, we were quite shocked to see how people have so little money, especially people who are in government service, etc., who are allowed to withdraw their PF, have literally nothing left in their PF by the time they retire because they're completely dependent on their pension. So the worst blunder you can do is exhaust your PF the day before you retire. That is the worst thing. What is the second worst thing? Second worst thing or the first worst thing, I don't know, is procrastination, saying I'll do it tomorrow. Start saving for investments. When you say that to a 22-year-old, he says, oh, my father has not started saving. You tell it to a policeman and he says, oh, मैं तो 60 में मर जाऊंगा. You tell it to a doctor and he says, I will work till the end of my life. You tell it to a defense person and he'll say, oh, I will get pension, right? So procrastination, saying I will do it tomorrow. I think those are the worst four words as far as compounding is concerned. There is no point in compounding if you don't start early. You need to give your money a long time for it to grow. It takes a long time. I mean, if you're looking at Buffett and Charlie Munger benefit from compounding, it's because they live to the age of 95 and 90, right? So they're lucky with their health or whatever. If you don't live that long, Sanjeev Kumar couldn't have done any compounding. He died at 47. Nutan couldn't have done any compounding. She died at the age of 53. Right? For compounding to work, you have to live long, and to live long, you have to take care of your health. So another big blunder in retirement planning is not taking care of their health and their wealth. Both are being ignored. That's bad. Because at 30 or 32, if you are going to spend 2,000-3,000 rupees a month on medicines for diabetes and for your blood pressure, remember you have a problem. The problem is that is also going to compound, and it is going to take a toll on your kidney and your heart. So you're going to spend a lot of money. You do not know how long you will live, and you won't have enough money to compound. So compounding works for your health and for your wealth. So take care of your health. Spending your retirement corpus too fast. There are people who spend it too fast and then wonder what happened. And I'm not joking. I've seen such people. I saw a 70-year-old man who had exhausted his money. He just didn't have. He had only 25-30 lakhs, and lo and behold, he did not have his own house. He did not have children, and therefore, whatever reasons, he did not buy a house. So he did not have a house. He had only 25 or 30 lakhs, and he and his wife were dependent. So suddenly, what happened was his wife's nephew, his wife's brother's son, he was doing very well. He had got himself well educated. So he bought for his bua. He bought a house and offered to pay the maintenance. So the house was in his name and he was paying the maintenance, and this couple, which is Bua and Fufaji, were living in that house. And well, that's how it is. And he was supporting. Luckily for him, he died at the age of 74 or something. And then this lady moved to a senior citizen home. And even now the nephew supports, because 25 lakhs is what she has, which is kept in a bank, which could be suddenly used for an emergency. And so he is the guy who is paying the charges to the senior citizen home, and she is staying there, and she's young. She's just 76 or 77, and she could live another 23 years. And then what happens? Completely dependent on the nephew. So the nephew asked me, is there anything else I should do? And I laughed at him and I said, yes, you should do one more thing. I got him to take a 50 lakhs term insurance with his bua as the beneficiary. I said, in case you die, she should get that money, and then she can get an annuity out of that. So, and he did it, because if you're supporting somebody, you need to back it up with an insurance. Just supporting is not enough, whatever be the cost, right? So what are the other blunders that people do? Putting too much equity into the pension fund is also wrong, and putting too little is also wrong, right? So somebody who puts 90% of their money into equity, that's fantastic if you're 30 years of age, but by the time you're 60, 65, it should come down to a more sobering 50-60%, maybe 65% is the max. The remaining money should be in debt instruments, and I'm talking of small or reasonable size portfolios. When a portfolio is 10 crores, 20 crores, then the rules change. But as long as a person has 4-5 crores kind of a portfolio, these rules of 70-30 or 100 minus age for portfolio, all that matters. The other mistake which I see people make is putting too little into equity. What is the point when you have a 5-6 crore net worth and most of the money is lying in real estate which is not giving you good return? Imagine a person living in Chennai and having property in Bombay, Belgaum, Bangalore. The day you can't move out of your state, you cannot sell your property. Please remember, you cannot even give power of attorney. So don't have too much of real estate. Handling real estate beyond the age of 70 is not very easy. If you are in coma or you are unable to move or you are unable to sign, it is very difficult to get rid of such property. So by the time you're 70, simplify your investments, right? Even if your wife is a joint holder, both of you will have to go to sell. It is not either or survivor that only your wife goes and you are unable to go. So be very careful. So too much real estate, too little equity, too much of gold. These are all telltale signals that asset allocation has not been done properly. Let me just go through my book and tell you whether I have left out any topic, any other blunder. Not having a clue as to how much to save or invest. That's fine. You're 28 years of age, you do not know how much to save for your retirement. Great, you're not expected to know. But you know that figure is not zero, right? You know the figure could be 4 crores, 5 crores, 20 crores, doesn't matter. But it is not going to be 25,000 rupees, right? You know it's a big amount. So it doesn't matter if you don't know the amount, but start moving towards some number. Put a number of your imagination. Put a figure at 10 crores, put a figure at 20 crores, doesn't matter. Start moving towards it. Start putting away 10% of your savings, or rather 10% of your income towards retirement, another 10% towards other goals, assuming you save at least 20% of your take home pay. Letting the taxman into your investment, that is another funny thing. Look, if you make a bank fixed deposit at the age of 30, you pay tax on interest on an annual basis. So let us say you have a 10 lakh bank deposit, and for calculation purposes I am assuming that 1 lakh is the interest that you get. On that you will pay 30% tax, right? So every year you will pay 30% tax. So the amount that is compounding is only 70% of your income. Whereas if you put that money in a mutual fund in growth option from your age of 30 till your age of 70, I am assuming next 40 years you don't need to touch the fund. That fund will grow untouched without tax. You will pay tax only at your age of 70. Can you imagine the impact that instead of 2020 when you're 30, you will pay tax on it 40 years later, that is 2060. The next blunder that I want to talk to you about is paying too much for health. When you start paying too high a fee, that is also going to impact your compounding. Like tax hurt your compounding, paying 2% per year instead of paying 1% or 0.70 for your for the services of somebody with an RIA or an IFA. So the cost of the IFA or the RIA in percentage terms should not exceed 1%. 0.7 to 0.9 or 1% should be the cap. So have a look at which fund, how much is being paid, and what is the total that you're paying as charges. Other mistake which I see is people retiring when they actually need is just a break. There are times when you've had a very tough day, you've had a tough week and you say, oh my God, I should retire. Actually, you don't mean that. What you need is a 3-day break or a 4-day break, not a 40-year vacation. You don't need it. So go take a break, come back and take up a job. Do something. You need to be physically active till your age of 70 at least. You can do it. We can all do it. Look after your health and then you will be able to do it. Investing in health is very important for your retirement plan. I think I'm towards the end. Let me just run through. Hoping that your kids will take care of you, that's very difficult, not because of anything else, but just because most of us have 1 kid or 2 kids at the maximum. They may not be around to take care of you, and even if they do take care of you, expect only moral support from them. Have enough money so that they can hire help to look after you. So the physical taking care of can be done by a nurse, the financial taking care can be done by your money, and the moral taking care can be done by your kids, right? Don't put all the pressure on them and say it's your duty to do it. They may not be able to reach. They have their priorities. You may not be there in their priorities. Thank you.